Already know Jalen Carter had a arrest warrant for him with the fatal car crash of a teammate and another person. Now, he wasn't the guy that did the crash, but he fled the scene per reports and misled police on the investigation. Lot of implications that this has on the NFL draft, the Detroit Lions, in many different ways. So we're going to break it down on here, why this is extremely important, why it affects the draft, how it affects the Detroit Lions, questions regarding him and his personality. Let's just jump into it right now. I'm not even going to do an intro because this one is really bringing multiple layers to this. Now, before this incident, at the NFL Scouting Combine, a lot of people were talking about Jalen Carter being a prima donna. That was the word used for him, about himself, and selfish before this incident came down. So there was already character questions regarding his personality. But when you're talking about the best player in the draft, people still going to draft him. But it's just a layer to that. When this information came out in regards to him potentially a car race, a teammate drunk and another person, and they were killed in the race, he fled the scene and did not give the correct information to the police. Yes, they're misdemeanors, and that's what it says right now. There's a legality part we got to wait and see, and I think it's really important that we all wait till all the information is out, but we're just going on with what we have right now, so let's just wait till all the information comes out. But this has major implications. First off, it goes with character concerns. If you're a veteran out there, or if you've been in a sports team or a real big team mentality, at least for me when I was in the Army, it was you never leave a fallen soldier behind. You will lay down your life for your teammate. You're doing everything you can to have that team mentality. You're always about the team first. You want to be a squared away individual and make sure that the players around you squared away. That's exactly what it's all about. Sports mentality. Team. That's what Detroit Lions is all about. It's all about team. Brad Holmes, Dan Campbell stressed about we want to get players that fit the Detroit Lions. And you're seeing that. You see Jamal Williams, team guy, leader. See that with Amon-Ra St. Brown. You see it all over. Penei Sewell. That is what has been done here with Detroit. Regardless of how it plays out for the legal aspect, whether, what's going to happen there, finances, maybe there's lawsuits as well, it does draw a major question mark about his team mentality. They get in a car wreck. It sounds really bad. Your teammate gets in a car wreck, and instead of trying to help him or save him potentially, you flee the scene. Is that the personality type that is Dan Campbell, someone that generally would not put your teammate before yourself? So it really looks bad, very selfish. That is a major question mark for the Detroit Lions. Is this guy a team player? Is he a guy who will buy in? Now, if his draft stock doesn't take a major plunge and he falls to the Lions at 6, you would have to have a plan for someone like him. You'd have to have a plan of putting leadership around him so he can develop that team mentality. Maybe this is a major wake-up call and he can change, but it is a major question about, are you a team player? Because I do believe in Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell. You got to have people that believe in the team. You have to have it. You have to have your brother's back. Your brother's got to be able to trust you that you have their back. It's really important. You got to have that mindset to be what we're trying to do here in Detroit. That's for the Lions. Now, this has major implications that does affect the Lions, but also affects what could happen in the top of the draft. Look, we've seen many mock drafts where the Indianapolis Colts would go from 4 to 1 with the Chicago Bears. Because why? The Chicago Bears can just choose Will Anderson or Jalen Carter. Well, with this incident here, Chicago may think twice about trading that far down. Maybe they're like, you know what? Jalen Carter's not a Chicago Bear. We're going to go after Will Anderson. If that's the case, they may not trade down to 4 because Will Anderson could be gone by then. You'd have the Arizona Cardinals sitting there at 3. And if they're not wanting to get Jalen Carter, the Chicago Bears, it doesn't make sense to trade from 1 to 3. They could trade from 1 to 2, and then he guarantees you Will Anderson. And that's big for the NFC North because we just assumed that Chicago could trade down and mass up a bunch of picks in this year's draft from where they're at. So this has major implications for the NFC North itself, the Chicago Bears, who they potentially could target. If that were to occur, say you have the Texans, they decide to trade up from 2 to 1. They take Bryce Young. Chicago take Will Anderson. Maybe the Arizona Cardinals take Tyree Wilson. And you got the Indianapolis Colts. Maybe they trade up to 3. They're probably going to take a quarterback, whether it be Will Levis or it's Anthony Richardson or C.J. Stroud. Then you got the Seattle Seahawks sitting right there. This has so many layers to it that it really puts this draft on its head. It really does. And it's very intriguing to see how this came out. Now, a couple days ago, because this just came out here the other day about the Jalen Carter incident, one of the reporters from CBS Sports HQ stated that he talked to a personnel within the top 10. That personnel said it would seem extremely unlikely that the Chicago Bears would take Jalen Carter now with these issues. And the feeling is he could slide. So it's already coming out, and I guarantee you in the next couple days, weeks to come, it's going to blow up even more. We'll see it from Todd McShay and Mel Kiper Jr. as they'll get the latest. They'll talk to more GMs. They'll talk to more personnel, more teams, and we'll get more information regarding the draft spot for Jalen Carter and what potentially could happen. Could he be there at 6? Absolutely. Jalen Carter absolutely now could be there at pick 6. And Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell will have a massive decision to make. Take the risk on a guy who has immense talent, my number 1 talent player, over a guy who has major now concerns about personality. Risk versus reward. Let me know in the comment section, what do you guys think? Should the Detroit Lions take Jalen Carter if he's sitting there at pick 6? Let me know. I want to know your thoughts on this. Me, I want to wait to see more facts. Most definitely. I think that's really important. But the team mentality is very important for me as well. I have that very high on when I look at prospects. Are they a team first player? Well, you know, their work ethic, all of that. That's extremely important, how you develop chemistry with a football team, and that's what we're seeing in the last couple of years with Brad Holmes. He knows how to do that. Dan Campbell knows how to do that. It's a difficult decision because you want to have the best 53, and the talent is immense, but character concerns are very high, and there's already concerns before this incident. Does Jalen Carter learn from this? Does he grow up from this? Because it's a big deal. That is a question mark we don't really know right now. We have no idea of this right now. It's a terrible situation all around. People, passing away, car wreck, just an awful situation. And I am really intrigued to see what's going to be said here. Legit rumors revolving this. I think this is going to be like hour by hour thing, day by day. How is he going to respond, Jalen Carter, when he does come out and talk to the press? Why did you lie multiple times to the police? And why didn't you stay behind? So, I don't know. This is a difficult one. Very difficult. But I do, when I see that leaving your teammate behind, that was a major red flag to me. Because I'm all about the team, all about putting your teammates first, all about fighting for the family and the brotherhood. So this one is difficult. But let me know your guys' thoughts in the comment section. I want this to be a great conversation, and let's not be hasty and crush each other's thoughts on this one. We're all going to have different opinions, and I think it's crucial that we have a good discussion here, respectable discussion about this. So let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments below. With that said, folks, adios.